Every day life hands us a blank page, a chance to write our own story, our own success, our own destiny. But too often, instead of filling that page with gratitude, kindness, and purpose, we waste it by scribbling jealousy, bitterness, and negativity. And when the day ends, we realize the page is gone. And so is our chance. In a quiet village surrounded by green fields and rolling hills, there lived a woman named Mira. Mira was known for her beauty and hard work. She cared deeply for her husband and children and was always the first to help when someone was in need. But she had one weakness: jealousy. If her neighbor bought a new goat, Mira would frown. If a friend's child did well in school, Mira would grumble that they were showing off. She never wished others well. Her heart was like fertile soil, but instead of planting seeds of kindness, she allowed weeds of envy to grow. One hot afternoon, while she was sweeping her courtyard, an old man appeared at her gate. His clothes were torn, his face was tired, and his feet were covered in dust. "Please, daughter," he said weakly, "may I have a cup of water?" Mira hesitated for a moment, but quickly fetched a clay pot of cool water. The old man drank deeply, sighed in relief, and smiled. "Thank you, kind woman," he said. Mira waved her hand. "It's nothing. You looked tired." The old man looked at her kindly. "Do you know who I am?" She shook her head. "I am the angel of death," he said calmly. "I came to take your life today." The clay cup slipped from Mira's hand and shattered on the ground. Her lips trembled. "Please, no. I have children, I have a husband." But the angel raised his hand gently. "Your kindness has touched me. Few humans would give water to a stranger these days. So I will give you one gift, a chance to change your destiny." He reached into his robe and pulled out a large golden book that shimmered in the sunlight. "This," he said, "is the book of destiny. Every person's life is written within these pages. Inside you will find a page with your name. Whatever you write there will come true. But remember, your time is short." Mira's fear turned into excitement. A book that could change destiny? She took it with shaking hands and opened it carefully. On the first page it was written, "Your friend, Lami, will soon receive a great treasure." Mira frowned. "Lami? The one who always shows off her gold earrings?" Jealousy burned in her heart. Without thinking, she took the pen beside the book and crossed out the line. She wrote instead, "Lami should not receive any treasure." She turned to the next page. "Your neighbor's husband will become the king's advisor." Again, Mira's envy rose like fire. "He already walks around with pride," she muttered. Then she wrote, "He should never become a minister." Page after page, she continued reading. Each line spoke of someone's blessing, a farmer's abundant harvest, a young woman's marriage, a family's good fortune. And page after page, she erased their happiness and replaced it with misfortune. Hours passed. The sky turned red as the sun began to set. Finally, Mira found the page with her own name written in bold letters. Her heart raced. "Now it's my turn," she whispered. "I will write that I live a long, happy, and rich life." But just as she lifted the pen, a strong wind blew through the courtyard. The pages flipped rapidly, and the angel of death appeared once again, his face stern and sorrowful. "Mira," he said, his voice echoing like thunder, "your time is over." She fell to her knees. "Please wait. Just one more minute. Let me write my wish." The angel shook his head. "You wasted your time writing harm to others. You never wrote a single good thing for yourself." He lifted the book. The golden pages began to fade into smoke. "You see, Mira," he said softly, "this is the greatest mistake of mankind. People spend their time destroying others' destinies instead of building their own. And in doing so, they lose both." Mira cried out in regret. "Please forgive me," she screamed. But it was too late. The angel touched her forehead, and her spirit left her body. The golden book closed forever. That night, a soft wind blew through the village. People spoke of how Mira had been fine just hours ago, but suddenly her house went silent. Her husband found her lifeless, with a peaceful but sorrowful expression on her face. When the villagers gathered to mourn her, they noticed something strange. Her hands were clenched tightly, as if she had been holding something precious. But when they opened them, they found nothing. The lesson is simple yet powerful. Life gives us a blank page every single day. What we write on that page becomes our destiny. If we spend our days filled with envy, bitterness, and gossip, we waste the divine opportunity to create something beautiful. But if we fill our hearts with gratitude, love, and kindness, then our story becomes one worth reading. Never waste your energy wishing harm for others. Every moment spent in jealousy is a moment stolen from your own joy. Remember, the more you try to erase someone else's blessings, the more you fade your own. Instead of saying, "Why not me?" say, "My time will come." Instead of saying, "I hope they fail," say, "May we both succeed." For the truth is, the universe records every intention. What you wish for others is what finds its way back to you. So today, think about your own blank page. What will you write? Will you fill it with bitterness and regret, or will you write kindness, hope, and faith? The choice is yours, just as it was Mira's. But remember, time never waits. Before your page turns blank forever, make sure your story is worth reading. If this story touched your heart, take a moment to reflect. Are you writing your destiny with love or with jealousy? Let this story remind us all that our true power lies not in destroying others, but in building ourselves. Jealousy wastes your blessings. Kindness multiplies them. Every day is a blank page. Write wisely. If this story inspired you, write blank page in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more life-changing stories that touch the heart and strengthen the spirit.